truth is, you should start your day the way that you want to start it. Mornings. You either love them or you hate them. I don't think I've ever actually met a human being who was like smack in the middle and they're just like, yeah, I'm neutral about mornings. I personally am in the latter group of I hate mornings. So I kind of have made it a bit of a mission to start shifting my mornings so that I actually am looking forward to them or I enjoy them. They don't feel as stressful or anxiety inducing as they usually do. So I'm going to share 3 kind of steps or tricks that I've been using to shift my morning, which ends up leading to a much more productive, exciting, fulfilling day. One of the first things that I do when I wake up in the morning, regardless of if I'm going to fall back asleep or, if I'm anxious or whatever, I will do a morning visualization, meditation type thing. So I will take control of my thoughts and guide them in the direction that I want to go, imagining the best case scenario for the day and how it would make me feel and the feelings that I want to bring into my day. Just as a quick side note, I've actually created a visualization specifically for you so that you didn't have to go all over the internet searching for something. You can definitely do that as well, but I made one and I stuck it in the description box for you so that it's right there and you can just give it a try tomorrow morning, maybe, or even right now. It's up to you. Anyways, it's there. I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people who more often than not, I will wake up with some form of either anxious thoughts or anxiety in my body, which is a pretty normal thing. Waking up can be a little bit anxiety inducing, especially for those of us who have very active brains. That's also normal and your brain is working perfectly fine. It's just doing its own thing. And you have the power to take your brain, tell it what to think about, and shift how you're feeling, which is kind of magical once you get a hang of it. And I promise you can. When I first started meditations and visualizations and learning how to shift from one headspace to another, it felt almost impossible and I wanted to give up so many times, but I promise you it gets easier and it's just such an empowering feeling to, wake up with so much anxiety in your body and just kind of sitting with it, breathing, letting it go, and shifting into a completely different vibration, energy, whatever you want to call it. It's amazing. So anyways, I have that down in the description for you. I hope you get to experience the awesome feeling that you can have, and your mornings don't have to suck. So anyways, I'll do the meditation visualization, and sometimes if I want to or have my journal next to me, I'll actually journal a little bit about what I want my day to look like, or even just get my negative thoughts and feelings out on paper. And for me, writing down negative thoughts and feelings, or kind of what I've dreamt about the night before, whatever it is, once it's out on paper, it's out of here, which means that there's space to breathe. And once you actually see it on paper, it's a lot less scary. You actually start seeing solutions if you can see the things out in front of you. So that's kind of like the 2 very first things that I do when I wake up, even before I get out of bed. This is legit eyes open and say a prayer and then just kind of meditate. Sometimes you'll fall back asleep, so maybe set an alarm. I know that's happened to me quite a few times, so just a little warning there. So yeah, those are the very first 2 things, kind of right off the bat. Eyes open, visualize, journal if the journal's right there. So my second step for having an incredible morning is I actually took some time to figure out how I want to feel, how I want to kind of introduce myself to the day. In the past, I have tried things like, setting an alarm with like my favorite song and like turning on all the lights, kind of like rocking out or going to do a hard workout right away. And I found that things like that actually made me feel a lot more stressed. I know that this could work for a lot of people, and I know many people who this works for. But for me, I realized that I have a much better day if I can literally roll out of bed and still feel cozy and kind of like I'm in a fuzzy, dimly lit cocoon until I wake up a bit more, or, my brain decides that we're gonna people that day. I started experimenting with different things that I could do around my house. So things like, I don't like really bright lights first thing in the morning. I will keep my curtains closed, and we have like dimmers on our lights. I will keep my lights dim, turn on some candles. So the second step that I have for a good morning is actually kind of setting the vibe for my morning. Different people have different opinions on how you should start your day, and the truth is you should start your day the way that you want to start it. I used to believe that I had to get up and crush my day right away, take that cold shower, go work out, like make the house super bright, all that kind of stuff. That does not work for me. If anything, it puts me into a horrible mood, and I just feel like I'm constantly trying to catch up to the day, and I don't have, a moment just to like sit and contemplate. It just kind of like created this like rushing go 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 thing that I just did up until I went to bed, and I didn't want to go to sleep because I would know that the next morning, yet again, I would have to get up and crush it. So I kind of started exploring and seeing how I really wanted to feel in the morning. And if you're anything like me, you don't want to leave bed in the morning. That's just, you want to stay in there probably all day, cozied up, covered in fuzzy blankets. But unfortunately, that doesn't lead to a whole lot of productivity, and eventually you'll end up feeling like a lazy slob. Yeah, what I wanted to do was see if I could take the feeling that I had of like being cozy in bed and kind of shift it into a more wakeful stage. So kind of things that I started doing was I would not open the curtains right away. I would make sure that my lights were kind of as dim as possible, keep my house on the more silent side. In the beginning, because my husband's one of those people who like, he just kind of loves to get up in the morning and he'll like turn on his favorite music and just kind of go about his day fully awake, excited. Whereas me, I just don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to think about anything. I just literally want to cocoon up in a blanket and just wait to feel like a human. So we had to have a few discussions about boundaries around how we interact in the morning, but we worked it out, and it's all great now. So I have kind of created a morning routine that helps me slowly transition from sleep into being awake and being able to, conquer my day. I have a specific fuzzy blanket that is only on the couch and only for couch use. So it's kind of like get up in the morning, I put on my cozy, comfy, either a tracksuit or PJs, and then I will kind of just set the mood in my house to still be dim, quiet, introspective. I light my candles, and I make sure to get candles that just like invigorate me, but are still very like chill. Anyways, you know what that scent is for you. Took a little bit of digging for me, but one of my favorite scents is mahogany teakwood. So good. So I will make sure that the house is just really nice and cozy, quiet, dim. I will light some candles in the morning. One thing that I did for a little while, which I kind of want to get back into doing, is that I would get a candle specifically for the morning. So kind of ideally it would be something like maybe something that smells like a cafe or coffee or tea, or just something that kind of makes you think of kind of like that perfect morning. And I would light that candle, and that's the only time I can light it, just kind of for my morning routine. And it kind of creates that like fun little connection in your brain, kind of like, my mornings can smell and just feel really yummy and good. And obviously, if you have a coffee scented candle, you need to have a coffee with it, obviously. Kind of, yeah, just setting up my spot to make me feel that cozy, just slowly waking up kind of thing. And usually, like, once I get out of bed, kind of set up my thing, I'll usually like light my candles and go do my morning routine with like my face and my teeth as my coffee's brewing. And then I kind of like pull my coffee and my journals and together, and I will go sit on my couch with a fuzzy blanket and just kind of get really introspective and cozy and just kind of sit in the moment. And it's been a huge shift for my mornings because I start peacefully, calmly, on my own terms. And it feels so good and smells amazing, just so you know. So yeah, that's what my morning is like. And depending on what I'm doing that day, whether I have to like get out the door or if I'm working from home, that kind of routine is pretty much the same every day, but it varies in length. So if I have to quote unquote rush, which I try not to do, I will just spend a little bit less time on, like reading or meditating or just whatever actions I'm taking in the morning. And if I'm going to be home for the rest of the day, I don't typically set an alarm for myself with these things. I just kind of read and journal and that kind of stuff up until I feel like I'm ready to tackle the day. And I know it might feel like, you can just sit and do this for the whole day, which you can, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you will usually hit this point where kind of like your mind and your body are both like, okay, we got this, we can conquer the day, and we feel good about it. So that's actually something that I'm going to talk about next, how to create this kind of a fun morning routine for yourself. But yeah, a lot of it is just taking the time to sit and get to know yourself and what you want and kind of create a system or a habit around that. So first things first, you need to prioritize yourself. Choose that your morning is your morning and wake up accordingly. I know not all of us want to wake up super early, but if you do have to get to your job at like 7 or 8, I highly suggest waking up maybe an hour and a half before, just so you can actually put yourself first, because like it really, really shifts your day when you spend time with yourself and you're really telling yourself and the world around you that you matter and that, you can't be pushed around. So figure out what your like kind of time frame is and wake up accordingly. And if you are one of those people who works from home or doesn't have a like traditional 9-to-5 schedule or whatever it is, like, you do you. As of right now, where I am in my life, I do have more of a loose schedule. So I just kind of like listen to my body and let myself take all the time I need. But that I know that's not available for everybody all the time. And That's totally okay. You're smart. You'll be able to figure it out. So once you decide that you are going to put yourself first, then you kind of have to start doing the work of, thinking about what you actually want your morning to look like. And like I said with me, I had to sit down and really think about how I wanted to feel. How I said with me, I wanted to figure out how I wanted to feel in the morning versus just what I wanted to accomplish. And by shifting from head to heart kind of thing, it really shifted how my day went. So you have to figure out how you want to feel and what kind of things would contribute to that feeling. It will take practice. You will have to try different things, go through a bunch of different candles. One thing that I found really worked for me was that when I started creating my morning routine, Saturday, I believe it was because I like starting my weeks on Saturdays in the sense of I pick how I want my week to go, or my next week to go, and I will kind of plan it on Saturday, which gives me a day to be lazy and then conquer the rest of the day or the week. So one thing that I found when I kind of started figuring out what I wanted my morning routine to look like, I sat down a few days before I decided to start it. So for example, like everybody, I wanted to start working on new habits on Monday morning. So I actually planned over the weekend. And what I did was I sat down and just kind of put myself into the headspace of what would my perfect morning look like. And I just kind of started, I brainstormed, then kind of created a blueprint. And initially I had a lot more things on the agenda in the morning, which included, working out and going for a walk and breakfast and stuff. But as I started practicing, different things would either get taken off the list or I would add new things on the list. But you do need to take that time to actually sit and figure out what you want your morning to feel like. And through that, you can start breaking it down as to what different things you can do, add. I think you understand what I'm saying. From there, once you kind of have a list of things that you want to add or how you want your morning to look, then comes the fun part of waking up and doing your day. And I highly suggest that you give it about a week before you decide to completely change it, or if you say that it doesn't, give it a week before you decide if it works or not. And you will kind of start, as the days progress, you will start feeling, your brain and your body will tell you where it wants you to go. So yeah, give yourself kind of the time and space to just keep tweaking up until it feels good. And, don't get so hung up on it being perfect right away. And it's a journey, it's an adventure. You will know when you start adding the right things to the list, because you will just start actually looking forward to your mornings, which is a really nice feeling. So a bonus tip that I have for you is go out and invest in a comfy, good-looking PJ set or tracksuit, or kind of sounds like I'm just thinking of those velour tracksuits from, or velour tracksuits from the 80s or whatever. Anyways, I digress. Go out and get yourself something matching, something that makes you feel bomb, just something that elevates you and makes you feel good. Another thing that I like doing is spraying some perfume on myself. Not first thing when I wake up, but typically if you just do it once every few days, the scent will stay on your clothes and you'll just feel really good and elevated. Because we all know wearing our boyfriend's PJs or sweats or whatever it is can be comfy, but we don't always feel like hot shit. So go out and get something for yourself that just makes you feel, that leads into that feeling that you want to feel in the morning. And yeah, I really hope that these tips helped you. And I would love to hear what your new morning routine is going to look like for this next week. And let me know if there's anything I can do to help. You can contact me through all of my social media things. And yeah, I hope the rest of your morning goes beautifully. You're beautiful, you're amazing, you're strong, and you're going to have an incredible day. Love you.